Hey friends, ladies and gentlemen, we're here on June 14th to discuss the Fed Decision Day. You would think on the surface, great news everyone, the Fed decided to pause and not raise rates. And that would have been great if Chairman Powell could have left it at that, but he couldn't help himself and he went ahead and said, oh, but we're going to hike it 2 more times. And everyone's like, bro, like what?
What?
I was explaining it to my wife just now, and I said, imagine this. If you went and told all the kids this morning, we're going to do chores all morning long, and it's going to suck. And we're going to take a break for an hour, and it's going to be great.
Yeah.
But don't get too comfortable, because I'm going to have 2 more jobs after lunch. Your kids are going to groan and moan, right?
Oh, they're going to hate you.
So
Yeah.
how's the market responded to the news, Gavin? What do you think?
We're getting wrecked. I'm sure of that. You know, we all kind of bet, the market bet back in, what was this, 4 or 5 months ago when rates kind of started to inch back down. The market was betting on a pivot.
Yep.
Like the old Friends scene, pivot. We were all banking on a pivot, man. And the Fed was going to start cutting rates. That's what everyone was thinking. And he has cemented into the market at this point, he is not cutting. He is going to keep on going. You sent me a video about 3 weeks ago of a gentleman talking about the Fed's kind of underlying unspoken plan here, which is a job loss recession. And I think barring that or an absolute economic meltdown, some sector just completely crashing, the banking industry, for example, or some other, Black Monday kind of event. I think us all thinking rates are coming down soon. That can might have been kicked down the road just a little bit. Now, I don't know if that's, 2 years, but could it be another 3-4 months before we start kind of seeing the turnaround? I think that's likely.
What's crazy about the whole scenario is that, the target of where the Fed wants is they want inflation to read at 2%.
Yeah.
Okay. So to put it in perspective, last summer, we were like 8%, 8.1, etc. We're all the way down. The print that came out yesterday was at 4%, slightly below expectations of 4.1. And you're thinking like, hey, we've come from 8 all the way down to 4. Obviously, the Fed policy is working. It's backing out this inflation. But they're looking at it, but we're not at 2. And it's like, well, it's going to take time for all of that, the higher cost of goods, to work their way out of the market with these higher rates. And so, but the trajectory is straight down. I mean, we went from like a 4.9 to 4%. And the July numbers that are coming out are expected to be down into the 3s. And so you could clearly look at it and say, you can just pause here and let it kind of coast back down to 2. You don't want to slam it down because you're going to go past 2 and go to 0 and cause disinflation and cause all kinds of other problems that we don't want. So I guess for people who watch the market, that's probably the frustrating part. But for you guys and consumers, so the next thing right now, we're just going to kind of have to deal with this and figure this out. The next Fed meeting is not until July 26th. And so we'll kind of wait and see. There is a new CPI print that will come out in July prior to that meeting. So we'll have to watch that and the jobs number. I mean, they're pretty focused on jobs, but it's kind of funny. It's like, you can imagine having a Fed, your policy is to try to destroy jobs. You want people to lose their jobs so you can stop. It's crazy.
Well, and he's been doing this for a while, kind of throughout all of this mess of inflation that he's essentially tasked with trying to fix, right?
That they created in the first place.
Created. He's kind of enacted this watch what I, he has this stance of just listen to what I say and not what I do kind of thing, right? Like he's paused. This might be the contrarian take, right? He's paused. Interest rates are paused. But I think in order to avoid kind of that signaling to the market that there's trouble ahead, he has to have this strong stance. He has to have this hawkish stance following the pause. Otherwise, he does get that scared mentality running through the market, which could cause a collapse, right? With how fragile everything is. So he's kind of enacting this, he does one thing, he has paused, but he's also like with his words, he's trying to cause what he wants to happen, which is, inflation coming down. He's trying to just scare the market into thinking they're going to keep going to hopefully do his job, and hopefully he doesn't have to do it maybe. But I think barring some, catastrophic something, this is probably how it's going to go. They're probably going to end up having to raise again because he won't be able to save face.
I just don't think there'll be a clear signal.
Yeah.
But for you consumers or you clients out there, prospects, they're looking at it, you're like, hey, so translate this, guys. What does this mean as far as interest rates go?
Yeah.
Interest rates deteriorated today about another 20 basis points. We were off like 50, 60 yesterday. So not good news. We're kind of the low to mid 7 range almost on interest rates for a conventional loan.
Yeah.
Fairly shocking for a primary residence to see that. FHA loans and VA are going to be slightly lower than that. But we're in the 7s right now. Hopefully the market can kind of digest this information and then look at where the trend is going to go with inflation and figure that the Fed's going to kind of have no choice but to keep cooling off. And that could alleviate some pressure. But right now there's pressure on the bond market. There's pressure there. So we've got high rates for a little bit longer.
This could be your moment still, though. I think our last update was like it very well could still be the great time to buy.
Yeah, talk to any real estate agent out there right now. They are, the prices are appreciating. In Maricopa County the last couple of months, we've actually seen appreciation in price. Homes are holding their value. They're getting, closed close to list price. So if you're out there thinking you're going to see this 25% drop and be able to buy up properties on the cheap, it's kind of not happening. At least not in the Utah or Arizona market. It's just not happening.
Yeah. So, tough times, but we're going to get through.
We'll get through it, guys.
The pivot is coming.
It will.
Just wait, guys. It's going to happen, I promise.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you got any questions or just want to talk through scenarios or kind of see what a payment looks like with a 7.5% rate, or how we can get that rate lower, let's talk. Let's run through those scenarios and kind of figure something out for you guys, because it's still buying a home is still a great plan. It's still something you want to be planning for, putting the pieces in place to be able to accomplish. So let us help you.
Check out the other podcast we did a couple weeks ago where we talked about, I think the title of it is $100,000 and you still feel broke.
Yeah.
That's a great podcast that explains why purchasing a home, almost regardless of the market, still makes a ton of sense. So check that out. We can link that one in the description below, but we'd love for your feedback and let us know how we can help.
Okay, thanks guys. Boom.